My fellow citizens of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, we bring you greetings from your interim government. It is now 8 long days, 8 days, when a nation remains in the dark, not knowing exactly where our leader and head of state, His Excellency Sikwa Yoktabe, and nominated ministers and his aides are. Fellow Ambazonians, make no mistake that this moment only does one. It reignites in us a nation and a resolve never before. As a result of that there have been massive protest in Germany, Times Square in the United States of America, in Pretoria, South Africa, and many more to follow. And all of these have one important significance. They have been very peaceful, as acknowledged by the Diplomatic Committee of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We want to thank our people and their leaders in all of these countries who heeded to the instructions of the interim government to ensure that protests in front of the Nigerian missions around the world, demanding for the immediate and unconditional release of our leaders, have all happened with the serenity, the peacefulness that we Ambazonians are well known for. Citizens, I'm commissioned to address you tonight by the interim government and the chairman of the Presidential Council, Barrister Bobga Harmony, as well as Secretary Chris, Secretary of State, your Department of Communication and Information Technology, in press release No. 1035. And there are a number of important things that have been clearly articulated in that particular list. We now know it's official that from the 1st of October, the southern campus has been blackened again. We do not have internet facilities. Our internet is systematically shut down by the Republic of Cameroon collude with interest-seeking telecommunication enterprises established in Cameroon. So the people of Ambazonia only get to access Facebook, their emails, or WhatsApp when this conglomerate of forces want to know that. The interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia condemning the shutdown of internet in Ambazonia and clearly stating that this is done in order to conceal continuous genocide that continues to be perpetrated on our peace-loving, armless people. Let's remember that Paul Biya declared a war on the people of Ambazonia, and that war was launched first front in Manyo County, where almost the whole of that county, made up of several thousands of our people, have been emptied into Nigeria. We roundly condemn the collusion of evil forces that is directed to continue to ground not only the economic activity of people, but to ensure that Ambazonia continue to be killed like animals. And of course, continues to is the silence of the international community. The government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the ever leadership of His Excellency Sikwa Yoktabe, currently in captivity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria after being abducted with his aides. We are telling the government of Nigeria, we are telling the government of La République du Cameroon, we're telling the United Nations, the EU, the AU, the Commonwealth, and all friendly international forces that only dialogue that addresses the root causes of the current quagmire we have in the Cameroons will solve this problem. And that without the solution to this problem must be centered around the people of Ambazonia, moving to Boya, where with their government, they will plan a country, build a country, and give their children hope again. Let the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the United Nations, and all accomplices that are part of the abduction of our leaders know that no decisions that are taken under conditions of duress will ever bind the people of Ambazonia. This is a message from the Ambazonians on the struggle. A message from the interim government of the Ambazonian people. This is a message from all of us. Let it be known that it's unlawful and very criminal for anybody to be kidnapped, abducted, and within 48 hours, those responsible have not made sure that his family or their families only know exactly what, but know their exact state and talk to them. Let it be known that to all our leaders, we are with you, and we will be with you to the end when you are released from your places of abduction. But if you're hearing us from the interim government, you must know the Ambazonian people have roundly spoken that we are on course to Boya, and no negotiation beyond that will ever it. The interim government sends messages of comfort to the families of all abducted leaders, beginning with the First Lady, wife of his ex-Isigwa Yoktabe, and children. That we understand your pain and we know how that moment is. But we want to assure you that we are with you. We want to assure you that your interim government is doing everything in its powers to ensure that our leaders are released as soon as possible. As you already know, we have hired the best lawyers in Nigeria, led by the veritable Femi Falana. You all know that in a week, he has tried severally to see our leaders and was compelled by a statement given to the government of Nigeria 48 hours to unconditionally release our leaders from their place of captivity. It's equally a very strong message that if this is not done, then beginning Monday, himself and your Ambazonian leaders, led by the man of our Presidential Council, put in place to assist His Excellency Yoktabe, lead the affairs of cabinet, as well as international lawyers. West, or rather a set of the best across the globe, will ensure that from Monday, different legal options in Nigeria and in the international community were in place to ensure that one, all our leaders are released so that they can continue to lead the business of freeing the Amazonian people to Boya. And two, that all perpetrators of this abduction, this illegal abduction, are brought in front of institutions so that the job is served. So we want Amazonian people to have their call. We want to show you that following the bits and pieces of F.R.A ratio interim government, as well as the briefing that was done to Cabinet by F.R.A yesterday, His Excellency Sisiko Yoktabe and our leaders, we have been assured that doing well are under the keeping of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And everything is being done to ensure that they get to join us and continue the business of government as soon as possible. No Nigerian administrator indicated that they were arrested. When Foreign Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria indicated that he cannot confirm that they were arrested, that clearly says that they were abducted, as we have consistently pronounced from the interim government. But rest assured that we are using every diplomatic means possible to ensure our big brothers who understood our story most, have been on our side, who continue to support and keep mothers and fathers forced out of La Republic by the war declared on our people, the evil gang in Nigeria. We continue to be assured that the efforts we do, the diplomatic efforts, hand in hand with the Nigerian diplomatic corps, as well as the leadership and Abuja, will most certainly end up with them giving back our leaders in one piece. Because of course, there is no charge that can be brought against our leaders. At least they have not told us that their kidney was leading. We have continued the foot line off, or in the footsteps of the Republic of Amazonia, of the Southern Cameroon National Congress, of the consortium, that our revolution, our resistance will remain peaceful, and we will free Amazonia using every peaceful means possible. But the attack, we will defend ourselves by every means possible. We continue to reiterate, like it happened in Manu, like it happened in Mamfi, that nobody listening to me now, including the agents of La Republic de Cameroon, will watch their parents fellow Amazonians, we apologize for that technical error. So before we had a technical error from the interim government, we are sure enough or to know that we're doing everything in our powers and our leaders will be released. Secondly, we were sure enough people to know that from our lead barrister, brief cabinet, as well as intelligence has come into cabinet, we can assure you that our leaders are in Abuja and they're in high spirits, very focused on the mission to take us to Boya. La Republic is currently ashamed and embarrassed. Announcement met that our leaders are in Yaoundé was a diabolic attempt by the important mission of moving to Boya. So rest assured, the leaders are in Abuja and Nigeria cannot any second over leaders to the Republic. Because the La Republic human rights record is pathetic. Treaties between those two countries that will allow such a thing. So La Republic propaganda and that of all its media was intended to weaken your resolve. Stay the course, remain calm, and just that at this hour, your president and my president, His Excellency Yoktabi, expects us to remain very focused. We thank all international organizations that have stood us at this particular hour. We thank the global media that has done several publications to ensure that justice done in Amazonian people is done by the international law. We thank Amnesty International for standing up against the wanton human rights abuse or abuses that Amazonian people continue to suffer from. We thank the African Bar Association for current government and unconditionally release all our leaders. And of course, we wait for action that will be taken, especially after the 48-hour deadline was missed. That's point number one. Very important. The next is on ghost towns. Fellow Amazonians, the interim government understands that when the people of Amazonia choose ghost towns as one of the main tools to send a clear message to La Republique that you will never continue to abuse us, they understood that this meant sacrificing for Mother Amazonia. And you have stayed the course for 1 year. The Presidential Council, again, made up of the chairman of the Presidential Council and 2 other members, one coming from your ethics committee and the other coming from the Restoring Council, send a clear message to you that the government is very grateful for your sacrifices. We know how much pain we all bore every time we all agree to ghost our cities and ghost our villages. So that we send a clear message to Yaoundé that you have no control over us, that we control ourselves and we only get instructions from interim government. So we would like you to note that we appreciate the success of the 3 days ghost town that was observed by all in solidarity with the leaders that were adopted in Nigeria. The 3 days ghost town last week was very successful. Now, La Republic diabolic elements have planned another scheme in your different villages next week. They will be sending messages. You've not so many SMS and WhatsApp that your interim government for a ghost town for so many days, and that so-called traders will be putting on T-shirts condemning ghost towns. We wanted to need to know that these are enemies of the revolution. These are counter-revolutionary forces. These are La Republic agents. We want you to watch different communities. Anybody who comes out with T-shirts in the so-called name marching against ghost towns, beware of them. Those are enemies of our revolution. In them, they are carrying us. They will people. In them, they are carrying poison. They will poison our people. Tell the Amazonian people that we know you, and we know you will never go against any pronouncement from your interim government, because your interim only speaks the voice of our people. So what is the from the interim when it comes down to next week? In solidarity with our arrested leaders, ghost towns only hold on Monday. I want to repeat that. Ghost towns will be observed across Ambazonian on Monday. On Monday, 15th of January 2018. Any other year contrary to this is a or counter-revolutionary message circulated by counter-revolutionary agents. There will be no town on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, including Sunday. Would like our people to trade and go to work, because we need you to raise the money required to push this revolution to a logical end. So again, ghost towns for next week will on Monday the 15th January. Monday the 15th of January only. We will maintain ghost towns on Monday until His Excellency Sisikwa Yoktabe comes out and with it makes a contrary pronouncement. We ask on all to ensure that this is enforced. Next question is the question of resumption. Fellow Amazonian people, the Amazonian, in solidarity with the suffering masses of people, is committed to ensure suffering ends, so that our children can go to school, learn, become professionals, get employed, and contribute to make Amazonia one of the best in the world. Under the current convention, the president was very elaborate, very clear during his New Year's speech. He said Amazonia is currently a war zone. There are La Republic military personnel armed to the gear across Amazonia everywhere, in every town and every village as we speak. So many of them not putting on anywhere. The president said, our schools are currently very unsafe. They are military, and for the few Amazonians, or rather citizens from across that violated the call of the Amazonian that we go to school until certain conditions are met. You are all witnesses to the fact that this brutal military, police, gendarme beasts have raped so many of these children that were taken to school by their heartless parents. Many of the security forces have banned so many of our schools. So the president rented the message from the interim government that under the current condition, the responsible thing for a government to pronounce is there can be no schools because the insecurity situation is alarming. It's very insecure and unsafe for us to pronounce that our children, our kids should go back to school. So we are asking all parents to continue to keep your children home. They will go to school soon. A journey to Boya God will not take very long. Fellow Amazonians, there are clear conditions that were put on the ground, and these are simple conditions that a civilized government long embraced. And the conditions that you all know that I must reiterate for record purposes is one, all our leaders must unconditionally be released. From the phase of this revolution is Mancho BBC, Senator Penn Terence, as our other leaders, Comrade Asa Dango, the tens and tens of principals kidnapped, the hundreds of students kidnapped, and Ambazonia must be safe for all that have been forced out of their homes and communities and villages to safely return. And this is particularly citizens in Manyu County, the many villages in Manyu County that are wallowing in Nigeria as refugees, living under deplorable conditions, not knowing where their next meal will be coming from. The interment calls on all Amazonians to stand in solidarity with the jails, with our refugees, those in the hotels, those still on the run, and all that we part Republic to the limit. To adhere to all of these conditions, and the last one being the end of the war on Amazonia, the complete pull out of all their troops and colonial administrators, the complete demilitarization of Amazonia, that through negotiations, we can certain that there is peace and necessary conditions for our kids to continue to go back to school. Government thanks all our people for enforcing these instructions. We thank all enforcers for ensuring that goes stands as well as the question discussed is respect to the latter. The release signed today by the chair of the Presidential Council and Secretary Chris Anno of the Communications Department congratulates all the Amazonian people for your resilience and determination at this hour. Thoughts from the homeland tell us that school's resumption was less than 5%, and that most of the schools were our neighbors. We asked upon them to stop the provocation on the people, especially at an hour when their leaders are abducted. We were told that the ghost towns were not only Mami Wata across Amazonia, but that they were more than 500% successful. Fellow friends, thank you, and thank you very much. Release. The intervention is calling on all of Amazonian extraction to assure effective monitoring and report on the situation of the abduction, illegal abduction of our people. Keep a record of every single person who was abducted, who did it, where, and if you know exactly where they were abducted. Make sure that that is communicated to the interim government. You've been asked by the interim government to be professional monitors, effective from the 16th of January, which is Tuesday, and with the State Department for Justice. It is important that we take this moment to acknowledge the huge sacrifices that our lawyers have continued to give to this struggle. Remember that for 14 months now, our lawyers have not gone to work. They go without a salary and get families to fit. We ask our people to continue to adopt. Teachers, same, continue to adopt teachers. We thank you so much for the contribution you've got to send refugee camps. That's greatly, greatly appreciated. Fellow Amazonians, it's a difficult hour in Australia is to suggest that we are winning. The doctor clearly says that there's something in us that is unstable. In fact, one comrade quoted that if a tree doesn't have very attractive fruit, nobody would shoot at it. So as we are being shot at this, let everybody know it's been done. Because the Amazonian struggle to liberate our people is winning, and the journey is not short again. Fellow people know that to Boya, the distance State House in Boya is much, much shorter. So we will never go back. No it, no surrender. Lead us in prayer. Struggle in prayer. The sick in prayer. Put those in jail. Put those in refugee camps in prayer. And of God, that in no distant time, suffering of the Amazonian people over 6 years will be reinstated. The nation will forget its dark days of recolonization by a wicked republic to come run, and that all of these enemies of the liberties and freedoms sought for tracked into the restitutions of justice, and they will serve their day. Fellow Amazonians, we love you. God bless you. God stand by you. God strengthen you. Allah strengthen you. And someday very soon, you will all be free people. Long live a quest for freedom. Long live a quest for a free land. Short live the struggle, and long live Federal Republic of America. God bless you. Thank you.
mama, uhelele iyo. Siyelele mama, uhelele iyo. Siyelele mama, uhelele iyo. Siyelele mama, uhelele. Siyalila sichama, omuni felile. Uhelele felile, libo papa. Matore tulipasa. Uhelele sitimela sibaten, mafele tijohane. Uhelele basimani basitana, bajabile soweto. Uhelele masiyali basat, aseti bali bamwe. Uhelele tanglibane, matata Afrika. Uhelele iyo. Siyelele mama, uhelele iyo. Siyelele mama, uhelele iyo. Siyelele mama.